What's up guys, it's the Hockey Radar tracking drafts and prospects, and in today's video I want to take a look back at the top rookies going into the 2024-2025 season and give an overall grade on their rookie seasons, and it should be noted that I will have a very high standard for what an A+ rookie season would be. Obviously not all players come into the same situation, so their individual expectations as well as their team status may have an impact on their grading. Starting off the first overall pick in the 2024 draft, Macklin Celebrini put up an all-time rookie season if you compare it to the other first overall picks in the last few years. With the Sharks, he put up 25 goals, 38 assists for 63 points in 70 games this year, as he would miss a few games at the start of the season due to injury. What was so impressive was that the Sharks had virtually no depth, were outplayed in almost every game, had the NHL's lowest goals for, worst goals differential, and a bottom 7 in league for both power play and penalty kill, and yet he still put up near a point per game season as an 18-year-old. Playing with the likes of Tyler Toffoli, a responsible and successful veteran in this league, allowed Celebrini to put his creative forces on full display as he would put up several highlight reel plays on a Sharks team that looked like one of the most fun and upbeat last place teams ever. Celebrini's point per game was better than Bedard's, Slavkovsky's, Lafreniere's, Hughes, and Hischier's numbers in their rookie years. Not to say that he's the best first overall forward in the last 9 years, but to beat out those top players is nothing short of incredible, and you could argue that Celebrini was on the second worst roster of those 5 players. Celebrini's play would be awarded with Rookie of the Month in November, an all-rookie team appearance, and he would finish third in Calder voting behind Hutson and Wolf as he had collected 11 first-place ballots. In my opinion, if he were to play a full 82-game injury-free season, with his point pace he would have put up around 75 points, and I think he would have taken home the Calder trophy and at the very least finished top 2. Throughout the season, Celebrini showed displays of his unreal vision in the offensive zone, his amazing hockey sense, and his elite shooting as he would often pick corners or blast it home with a one-timer on the power play. At just 18, he already possesses an elite hockey IQ, and if you watch him play, he's got his head up the entire way in the offensive zone, always looking for different ways to put the puck in the net. He is always a threat with the puck on his stick, and he's already the best skater on the Sharks, and he's going to be a nightmare for any players defending his rush. For Celebrini's remarkable season, and considering the quality of team that he was on, there's no doubt in my mind that his rookie season is deserving of an A. In order to get an A+, he would have needed to have an above point per game season, be just as good defensively as he was offensively, and maybe get the Sharks a few more wins on the season. And so considering how high of a standard I have set for an A+, Celebrini's grade is still insanely impressive. Celebrini is now in for a huge sophomore season as both he and the Sharks look to get better in 2025-2026, and with the amount of young talent in the organization, it certainly is an exciting time to be a San Jose fan. Next up, we have the Calder runner-up, former 7th rounder back in 2019, Dustin Wolf of the Calgary Flames. After appearing in 18 NHL games before this season, Wolf would be given the green light as Calgary's new #1 after the exit of Jacob Markstrom in the 2024 offseason. Dustin Wolf would put up very impressive numbers for a 23-year-old netminder with a 29, 16, and 8 record with a .910 save percentage and a 2.64 goals against average. Although 23 seems like an older age for a rookie, for a goalie to be given this much trust in net and to be so successful at 23 is incredible. Wolf would be a huge reason why the Flames went from potential bottom dweller to being one of the last teams eliminated from playoff contention in the last week of the 2025 season. The Flames would improve by 15 points from the season prior, and Wolf was a huge factor in this jump. He would also claim a Rookie of the Month in January, be named to the All-Rookie team, and would finish in second place in Calder voting, receiving 15 first-place ballots. Wolf's remarkable season, and considering that the Flames were only in contention in part due to his play, I'm handing out another A for Calgary's netminder. To get an A+, I would have liked to see that save percentage increase just a little bit, finish a little bit higher in Vezina voting, and maybe even make the playoffs. And again, with the standards set so high, Dustin Wolf's grade is still very impressive. It is a shame that USA's goalie depth is so log-jammed with Hellebuyck, Swayman, Ottinger, and Demko, and that we may not see Wolf in a USA sweater for a while, even though he will soon deserve it. Wolf will be in for another season that heavily relies on his shoulders, as Calgary could be in contention for a playoff spot, but could also be weakened if Anderson leaves. Either way, Wolf will be a contender for the team's MVP, and will surely get some Vezina votes by the end of the season. Going with player number 3, we have the 62nd overall back in 2022, the aforementioned Calder winner, Lane Hutson from the Montreal Canadiens. After putting up monster numbers in the NCAA, Lane Hutson would go on to put up a historic rookie campaign in the 2024-2025 season. He would play all 82 games and put up 6 goals and a whopping 60 assists for 66 points on a Canadiens team who finally broke through and made the playoffs. Lane's season would be tied for 4th all-time in rookie defenseman scoring and would put together only the second 60-assist rookie season by a defenseman in NHL history. He would quickly establish himself as Montreal's future #1 defenseman and power play quarterback, as they could quickly become one of the deadliest power plays next year with Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and Demidov. Like Celebrini and Wolf, Hutson would also claim a Rookie of the Month award in December and in March, being one of only 2 rookies to win twice this season. He would also be named to the All-Rookie team and would finish the top of Calder voting with a whopping 165 first-place votes. Lane could follow in the footsteps of the likes of Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar and be another dominant offensive defenseman in the NHL. Like every player on this list, he is in for a huge second season, as many of these players look to avoid the classic sophomore slump. The Canadians are not only looking to return to the playoffs, but to improve in the regular season and to go on a deep run to get the experience, and as the #1 defenseman in Montreal, Hutson has a huge responsibility, and I have no doubt that he will thrive as he becomes the third player to receive an A from the Hockey Radar. This is probably the highest A of the 3 handed out, and if he could have just been a little bit stronger defensively, he would be a lock to get an A+. I really hope he can round out his game in the next few years and have a really strong two-way game. Rookie number 4, we're going to go with the 7th overall pick from 2023, Russian phenom Matvei Michkov of the Philadelphia Flyers. After a strong KHL season in 2023-2024, where he put up 41 points in 47 games, Michkov made the surprising move to fly overseas to the NHL and join the Flyers for the 24-25 season. Don't get me wrong, he was ready for the NHL, but the reason it was so surprising was because the initial thought was that he would stay in Russia for a few years after being drafted. Michkov would go on to play 80 games for the Flyers and put up 26 goals, 37 assists, and 63 points, good for first on the Flyers in goals and second in points. He is a very good skater with great hockey sense and amazing hands, and he already has an elite NHL shot. He is a very stereotypical Russian winger who is very elusive with the puck, amazing creativity, and who likes to play with flair, which obviously didn't bode well with coach John Tortorella. He would receive a bit of harsh treatment from coach John Tortorella, leading to a healthy scratch, but he was without a doubt one of the most creative and dominant players on the Flyers this past season, and will continue to be so for the next decade. He would be awarded Rookie of the Month in both October and February, being the only other player to get the award twice other than Lane Hutson, and he would be on the All-Rookie team and would finish 4th in Calder voting in the 2025 NHL awards. Because the bar was set so high with the first 3 players all getting A's, and comparing with the only other forward in that first 3, Macklin Celebrini, who put up the same amount of points in 10 less games, Matvei Michkov gets an A- for his rookie season. On a roster that had more talent than Celebrini had on the Sharks, if he could have increased his point per game pace just a little bit and maybe cracked that top 3 in Calder voting, Michkov would surely have received an A in this grading. Overall, when comparing with other rookies, he falls just outside the top tier and will have to settle for an A-. The Flyers have been collecting a bunch of top prospects, however this upcoming season does not seem like it will get much better as a team. However, I can see Michkov breaking the 30 goal total for the first time and potentially leading the team in points, as he is a shoo-in to be the Flyers MVP of the 2025-2026 season. What I'm most excited to see about this Flyers upcoming season is Michkov's creativity fully unleashed without Tortorella holding him back, and pairing him with Trevor Zegras, who also plays with a lot of flair in his game. Speaking of the Flyers, going with rookie number 5, former 5th overall pick by Philadelphia, we're going to go with Anaheim Ducks left winger Cutter Gauthier. After a bumpy year last season getting publicly bashed by the Flyers after being traded, many in Philadelphia were hoping Gauthier would not perform in the NHL, and after a slow start with only 8 points in his first 20 games, and many thinking they'd get their wish, he turned it on in the second half, finishing the season with 20 goals, 24 assists for 44 points in 82 games, good for 5th on the Ducks in points and 2nd in plus-minus. Gauthier would receive all rookie team honors and a 5th place finish in the Calder rankings with 6 4th place votes and 74 5th place votes. With Gauthier's slow start as being one of the older forwards in this group that I'm talking about, Cutter gets a B- from the Hockey Radar for his rookie season. There is a big gap between the top 4 rookies and Gauthier, and so with Michkov getting an A-, it seems fair to give Gauthier a B-, as he had almost 20 points less on a better statistical team. There were some high expectations for Gauthier going into this year, as he was one of the more hyped up prospects, and on a fairly skilled roster in Anaheim, his point totals were underwhelming, especially in the first half of his season. Gauthier is in for a huge year as Anaheim looks to climb the standings, and with first line minutes playing with top talents Leo Carlsson, he could surpass the 25 goal mark and maybe go for 55 to 60 points in his sophomore season. Next up, the only rookie on this list to play for 2 NHL teams this year, former 47th overall pick in 2021, Logan Stankoven of the Dallas Stars and Carolina Hurricanes. After a promising call-up in 23-24 with 14 points in 24 games, and a strong playoffs for Dallas with 8 points in 19 games that season, Stankoven was one of the top rookies going into the 25-26 season. On a deep Dallas roster, Stankoven would get sheltered minutes and would only amass 29 points in 59 games with Dallas before getting traded in the biggest trade of the season. He would continue the year with Carolina with 9 points in 19 games for a 2024-2025 season total of 78 games, 14 goals, 24 assists for 38 points, and a 7th place Calder finish. Some underwhelming numbers for a very hyped up prospect going into the year, however being on 2 cup contenders it was hard to find minutes. Stankoven would have a very strong playoffs for Carolina, which is why fans are really excited for a full season of him in Raleigh for 2025-26. While Rantanen is a star in this league, I really think Dallas will regret letting Stankoven go, as I could see him being a 60 to 65 point guy in the next few years, but for now, with less than half a point per game, but still a solid playoff performance, Stankoven's rookie season gets a B- from me. And last one for today, we have player number 7 and the teammate of Celebrini, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith. Going 4th overall in 2023 and having a draft plus 1 year with Boston College, grabbing 25 goals, 46 assists for 71 points in 41 games. For a moment, all signs were pointing towards another year in the NCAA before the surprising signing of his ELC to join the Sharks going into the 24-25 season. Smith would have a slow start to his career, and it didn't help that rookie teammate Celebrini was off to a blistering pace in comparison. Many wondered if Smith would find himself being loaned to the USA for World Juniors and maybe getting time in the AHL. It really was a tale of 2 seasons for Will Smith, with only 15 points in his first 40 games. Luckily for both Smith and the Sharks, he would turn it on and put up 30 points in his next 34 games for a season total of 18 goals, 27 assists for 45 points in 74 games. Smith would begin to really display his creativity on the ice as he would excel alongside other youngsters on the roster like Celebrini and Eklund, and of course the veteran Tyler Toffoli. Smith's late season push would put him good for 6th place in Calder voting, with 2 4th place votes and 56 5th place votes. Due to the slow start but redeeming second half, I think a B is more than a fair grade for Smith, and hopefully for him, next season will look more like his second half than his first. He had a very similar production and similar storyline than Cutter Gauthier with the Anaheim Ducks, with both players turning it on in the second half of the season. However, again, due to the difference in the quality of rosters between what Smith had compared to what Gauthier had, I have Will Smith with a slight edge in this grading. Like Celebrini and the Sharks, Smith will also look to take further steps forward, and I think it is really important for the Sharks to figure out if he can be a center in this league or more of a winger. Based on Smith's second half, I can see him putting up 60 to 65 points this season, playing on the Sharks' top line and top power play unit. That's it for today with my rookie grades for the 24-25 season. Let me know what you guys think and comment which rookies I didn't cover, and maybe I can do a part 2. As always, like and subscribe, and check me out on Spotify and Instagram where I post tons of content, and stay tuned for Saturday's video, continuing my 2026 draft series.